Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend. Anyway, since I'm in the mood to make videos again on YouTube, albeit temporarily, there's so much more to talk about from this game, and it's the morning after. Things are still just goddamn glorious. And last night, when I made that video I paused the DVR, so I didn't even see them hand the Lombardi trophy off. I went on the back porch, I said, I just gotta spew while this game ended. And there's so much, I was like, I should have talked about this, I should have mentioned that, and just to start things off on a separate note, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like my new dog videos, I've been wearing like this fake wedding ring, this little plastic ring. I usually wear rings like this when I go to the gym. Anyway, I lost my wedding ring a couple weeks ago. I clearly have it here. Last night, I was switching laundry, like the bath towels and stuff, from the washer to the dryer, and I heard something clanging around in the washer, and it, make a long story short, it was my wedding ring. So for weeks on end, I gave up all hopes of finding my wedding ring, and the night that the Eagles win their first ring, I find my wedding ring. So anyways, on to the Eagles. Go back and look at my videos from just 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, however you want to call it. I'm making videos in my car, specifically after a loss to the Redskins, second loss of the 2016 season, or 2015 season. The season ends in I'm screaming about how much this team is primed to die, what a wreck this team is. We got rid of Deshaun, we got rid of LaShawn. Chip Kelly is awful. He went on to get fired before that season even ended. And just a complete pile of shit mess that was left here in Philadelphia just 2 seasons ago. Howie Roseman is brought back in to be a GM, and I'm just like, been there, done that. We've seen what Howie Roseman can do. We're bringing him back as a GM now. Hired Doug Peterson, a guy that no one thought was going to be a head coach in this league, and I'm going, oh great. Basically, the climate here is so toxic in Philadelphia from Chip Kelly and what he did, that all we can do is get someone who's a friend of the organization, Andy Reid, to have one of his guys come over here and be a head coach. And that's what I saw it as, and that's what many people saw it as. I mean, let's back up for a second here. A lot of people saw that as the case and weren't like, oh, Doug Peterson, he's going to fulfill our dreams. Sorry, my voice is a little bit, can you believe it? My voice is a little bit shot from last night. People go like, it's an improvement. Shut up. So just 2 seasons ago, we're at a complete shit pile mess. And then this organization, Howie Roseman, does something that you very rarely see. And again, I'd like to see a time that is worked out to this level. And granted, this guy didn't play last night, but you'll get what I'm saying. They trade the farm, a plethora, couple first-round picks, second round, third round, to the Cleveland Browns for their second spot in the draft. Because the Rams are taking Jared Goff. The Eagles, Howie Roseman, management, wants this kid named Carson Wentz, a guy who, frankly, 90% of you didn't even hear of till about maybe a month or 2 before the season ended last year. I'm like, what school does this guy play for? North Dakota State. Well, the rest, as they say, is history. Now, granted, Carson Wentz didn't play last night in the Super Bowl, but he was a big reason why this team got here. Helped secure that first-round bye. Helped secure home field advantage through the playoffs by his play. Now, granted, Nick Foles came in at the end of the season, and the rest of the team, held strong and did their thing for the final 3 games of the year without Carson Wentz. But it looked shaky. It looked really shaky. So I told you guys to go back to 2 seasons and look at the mess that this team was left. Go back to the second last game of this season. Look at the highlights from that Oakland Raiders game. You're going to tell me the guy that was quarterback in that game is going to go into the playoffs, win 3 playoff games, and beat whoever comes out of the AFC? You're going to look at that game against the Oakland Raiders and tell me that this team looks like Super Bowl material? You're scrapping with a dirt dog team to pull out a 3-point victory? You're going to tell me that that team is going to pull things together? Well, apparently me and everyone else that doubted this team just put that chip on that shoulder, just made it heavier and heavier, to where guys like Jason Kelsey said, go ahead, just keep doubting us. Just keep doubting us. We like playing with doubt. And they succeeded on a level and played at such a pace and had a quarterback in Nick Foles, which, again, I said in my video last night, like, did any of you even really care that Nick Foles was on this team this year? I mean, I'm sure all of you said, well, if Carson Wentz goes down, they're screwed, so it doesn't even really matter who your backup quarterback is. But that was all the difference in the world. And that was Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson bringing back a guy that he helped coach. Granted, he was a backup quarterback in Kansas City when Doug Peterson was an assistant coach on the Chiefs, coordinator. Guys like Howie Roseman here, who helped get Nick Foles here to begin with when Andy Reid was in town and brought him in. It's a kid from Arizona. Guys like Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson are the reason why Nick Foles was here. Because I seriously doubt Nick Foles would have bounced back in this league, because honestly, he was ready to call it quits. Ready to call it quits, said he would play for one man and one man only, Andy Reid. And came back to be the backup for Kansas City last season, previous season. And you got to think that connection with him knowing Doug, him knowing Howie already and all that, and already having a place here in this organization, the fans knowing who he is and seeing what he can do, and it was enough to get him here. And I'm so grateful that I was wrong about Doug Peterson. I was wrong about Howie Roseman. I was wrong about the steps that I doubted Jeffrey Lurie's ownership. I was wrong about so many things, but I'm grateful that I'm not in charge. Because clearly the men who knew what they were doing were in charge. And I'm forever grateful for that. Forever grateful. And that has to be dwelled on so significantly coming out of last night. And I can't just make a few brief mentions in a video last night and have that be it, because guys like Howie Rowe, the combination of Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman, Jeff Lurie, Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson, just everyone, Jim Schwartz, I'll throw you in there, just everyone, just all you guys got it done. All you guys got it done. And you got it done when no one thought you were going to do it. No one, from a lot of people in the fan base here in Philadelphia. Again, I know there's homers that pick the Eagles to win every year. Like, oh, no, this is going to be the year. I said to everyone, this was going to be the year. And you talk to that guy, it's like, well, you said that the last 10 seasons as well. So that doesn't really mean that much. But, oh, boy. A little disappointed with how some of the Philadelphia fans acted last night, albeit just a few. Congratulations on your social media identification arrests. You just gave everyone that hates this fan base every reason to point and be like, look, they started some fires, they flipped some cars, they knocked down some awnings. In the grand scheme of things, it was very, very few comparative to the amount of people that were out, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot worse if the Eagles won. But thanks a lot for just giving everyone that hates Philadelphia more fire. And one other thing that I took out last night, and looking through the comments in my video that I posted last night, is I'm surprised how many New England Patriots fans just nutted up and shut up. Just said, congrats, the better team won. You outplayed us. The better team won. Because I had in my head going into that video, because I remember when Chip Kelly went into Foxborough 2 seasons ago, there was so much salt thrown, saying like, yeah, well, the Eagles won, but Gronk wasn't there. They were lucky to come out with a win in that game, and just a number of things. I was like, what an asshole fan base. But man, last night, just total class. Just on Twitter, on the video I posted, just total class from the fan base. Ate that loss, sucked it up, because I thought I was going to hear things like, oh, well, Malcolm Jenkins laid a cheap shot on one of our best wide receivers, knocked him out for the game. Brooks didn't come back the entire game, got knocked down in the first quarter. Oh, that Clement touchdown. Every other game this year, the refs call that as an incomplete pass, but all of a sudden in the Super Bowl, that Clement pass is a touchdown, or that Clement catch is a touchdown. I didn't hear any of that. Not one time. I mean, I didn't look at every single comment, but I didn't hear one single sour, salty Patriots fan say anything other than congratulations, unreal what this team did with a backup quarterback. And see, that's the thing. I think that's what anyone who really knows what was going on here, like any Patriots fan that knew exactly what this Eagles team was, knows that you have to give this team props. You can't sell this team short, because if there was every excuse in the world to make, the Eagles could have made it if they pulled out a close loss. They could have said, man, you guys are so lucky that Jason Peters hurt himself, that Carson Wentz got injured this year, that Darren Sproles broke his arm, that any number of the people, our head linebacker, our play caller on defense got hurt. We could have had every excuse in the world to lean on. And Patriots fans obviously knew that. Because you can't say something like, oh, we didn't have Cooks for the whole game. I'm like, oh, wow, which of the 10 key players for the Eagles do you want us to pull out that we didn't play with? And still put up 40-plus on you. And just on top of everything else, like, I know I'm biased because this is my team, and my team won. Was that not one of the greatest Super Bowl games ever? Like, I know I made that title Best Super Bowl Ever in my video last night that I uploaded, but that was just because it was the Eagles winning. No Super Bowl is ever going to be better in my mind. That's going to be the first one, hopefully of many to come. Hopefully my son gets to see one when he can actually remember it. And yes, I actually woke my son up last night when Brady went back for that final Hail Mary, opened his eyes from his sleeping coma, just so he could see with his own eyes the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I know he's not going to remember a damn thing. He's not even 6 months old. I even tweeted out last night. I said, man, I've been alive over 40-plus years. I'm 65. My son hasn't even been alive 0.4 years yet. And he's already seen the Eagles win a Super Bowl. What a spoiled little brat. Jeez, 13 minutes already. Yeah, I don't know. I had to have my son awake and seeing this in my arms while the Eagles won their first ever Super Bowl. I suspect a lot of you are like, just like, oh, take a dump on the Dallas Cowboys and the Redskins and the Giants and all the other teams you hate and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I would, but I don't have to. All those fan bases that hate the Eagles, that are a bitter rival of the Eagles, they have to sit there in awe of what this team did, all the hurdles this team overcame, all the odds that were against them, everything. Because I'll tell you right now, this Super Bowl win was so much more epic than what any other team's Super Bowl win is going to be to their squad, to their fan base. Because I grew up watching football in the 80s and 90s, and I saw a lot of dominant teams, and I'm seeing, like, the Dallas Cowboys in a non-salary cap era and all this other shit put together. I'm like, yeah, those are teams that should have won. This Eagles team really shouldn't have won. And that's the thing. That's what everyone kept saying. They shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have been there. Like, You lose your MVP quarterback? You can't make it to the Super Bowl without that. Man, you have no idea how much more glorious all that made last night. I'm just like, there's nothing that could bring me down right now. There's like absolutely nothing that could get under my skin. Just absolutely nothing. And like, someone said to me in a comment on my video last night, because I often said it was worse to be an Eagles fan than a Browns fan, saying like, wouldn't you rather be a fan of the Browns because there's so much less disappointment because you pretty much know you're playing for a top draft pick every season, and that's what you go in with the mindset as. So there's no disappointment. It's just that same old shit from the Browns. Oh, well, they didn't make the playoffs this year. Oh, boy, I'm shocked. The sun also came up yesterday. And someone said in a comment last night, so I guess you're officially, happy you're not a Browns fan. And then just like, I'm thinking about organizations like that, like the Browns and the Cardinals and the Falcons and what happened to them last year. I'm not bringing it up to like, oh, see, we beat the team you didn't, like anything like that. But man, just I can only wish those teams and those fan bases can feel what the Eagles fans felt last night, because it is indescribable. Indescribable. I'm so happy for this town, for this fan base, and just everything. Just despite the assholes that tick me off by acting like jerk offs. Not even gonna harp on that. Go climb your poles. Anyway. It was just such a good goddamn game that I was having 1,000 heart attacks in. Man. And Brandon Graham. Thank you for that fumble, sack, and fumble recovery by Derek Barnett. Sorry, I'm watching. There's Eagles highlights on the TV. I keep looking over at the TV. Anyway, I can't believe how just everything fell together. Just how epic of a win it was. And that's the thing too. I was just talking with someone on Twitter, a Patriots fan, that just said, congratulations, the better team won. Maybe this will end the bias of the refs favoring the Patriots, which I think is an absolute 100% accurate statement, because, man, if you're going to tell me the refs were biased towards the Patriots last night, I don't know about that one. You have a hard time convincing me of that one. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I started meandering. Anyways, he was talking to me about like how the biased of the refs and all that, and I was just like, yeah. I totally forgot the point I was gonna make there. I started looking at the Eagles highlights again. They just showed the touchdown where he ran. Okay, anyway. I'm sorry. I'm still in euphoria. I've had like 12 hours of sleep in the last 4 days. So, thank you for the great game. Oh, I remember the point I was going to make. This is why I've always given Tom Brady credit where credit is due, and not harped on the ref favoritism or the cheating, bringing him down or anything like that, because he is the greatest of all time. He's a 40-year-old quarterback who threw for over 500 yards. Threw for 505 to be exact last night. Greatest of all time, won the MVP of the league this year, has 5 rings, and you beat him. Doesn't get much more glorious than that, folks. Anyways, the sun is finally starting to shine here, and it's lighting up the world, and thus will end my video. I still got that video of me eating a cheesesteak to upload. 17, 18 years of vegetarian, and I'm gonna die on camera. Anyways. Bye-bye to all of you. Bye-bye to the Dallas Cowboys and Chip Kelly. We'll see you at the draft, Drew Pearson. Please send Brian Dawkins to Dallas to do that second-round draft pick, Philadelphia. All right? All right, Howie? All right, Jeffrey? Send Brian Dawkins to the draft so you can say, hello, Drew Pearson. Remember when you came to Philadelphia last year and did your stupid little meandering speech about how good the Cowboys are in Philadelphia? Karma's a bitch. Send B-Dawk to the draft. That is all.